just to say I made it on because allergies are really bad today. My eye is horrible. Doesn't matter. There's some good information. Aside from me having problems with light hitting my eye, we'll manage. Maybe it's the screen not helping. Some great information here today. I'm going to be able to talk about. So whether people show up or not, you'll be able to watch it after and hear what I have to say. Oh, good. Some people are starting to show up. Hey, adios. Ça va, brother? Mr. Peter Benton, welcome. Friday. Yes, once again, the cool time. Don't forget to hit the like. Greatly appreciated for everyone that comes in today. If and only if you appreciate the live stream, please do click the like button. So the times that I'll be leaving the screen, if there's an eye problem, I could put these things back and like not come on and stream, but why? Usually the eye gets better. The allergies are a little crazy today. Maybe it's because of the sun. I don't know. Whole lot of cool people here. Come back all the time. Thank you very much, Caleb. Alidi or LT, sorry. How's it going? Welcome. LT, yes, 1951. Welcome to the channel. Carmen Gonzalez, I'm here, Bruce. Thank you so much. Nice to see some new faces too once in a while, boy. I tell you. Karen, how's it going? I noticed I called you Carney the other day, but it was a little mix of the letters. Sometimes I answer people back and I don't even check what I'm writing and I click send. So forgive me for the type errors. Allez, merci encore, mon frère. Puis merci pour les renseignements for the Pentagon information, except Elias is different than what I wanted to talk about today. He was talking about them having to have intertwined all these mixtures of wavelengths and frequencies, the Pentagon saying this, to be able to show the world a nice, colorful image of the moon. So from Pentagon's words themselves, the moon is not gray. I've been saying it since 2016. You know that way back, those of you following me since the beginning, people used to ask me how come I was showing color on the moon, which is a normal question when you see professionals like NASA and a lot of other people showing the moon very nice and clear, but gray, my only answer was, I have a color camera. I mean, there's color there. That's for sure. Chris Ness, I'm doing pretty good except for the eye. One eye. Always just one eye on the right. I was able to get it going this morning. No, the allergies and even problems breathing at one point. Right now, I just checked. I should be outside with the camera because there's over 6 chemtrails right now over the sun, and they sprayed it like a star. One going that way, a next that way, and one going across. A big star over top of the front of the sun. I checked real quickly with the camera outside and the sun myself to see what was going on with it. What I showed you in the last video, the bottom spot is still very big, but it's progressing, but it's moving over now. It's just like on the edge of, but again, that's seen from USA that I saw online too. It's different. USA is different than from what I see. It's a little moved over. Peter Benton gets the sun too. And the spots sometimes me and Peter, it's surprising. The same place. We look at the spots, they're in the same place. So all around the world, people are seeing it differently. Like apparently the moon, people can see it differently. Not the other side. It'd be fun that in Australia, we could see the dark side. Like we'd have to travel across the world to be able to see the dark side. Moon is shifting, or is it Earth? Where there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. There's a turning point for all ufologists and UFO information, that's for sure. Some declassified documents that came out very, very recently, a couple of months ago even, and the Pentagon talking about research. There are declassified documents that say the Pentagon has been doing private research or secret research, whatever you want to call it. Certain things I won't be able to say, though, unfortunately, because of the fact checking. Got to be careful with what I say, but you'll see it's interesting. And I'm going to go right to a couple of posts. I have 6 websites opened up that show these news media that are talking about certain stories. So, like I said, what we see online, we have to use our own common sense. And like I heard, the CERN was shut down, and it's going to be shut down for 4 months because there's an accident in point 4, if I'm not mistaken. But now the problem is, I went, and I'm not going to hide it. This is what I heard, and this is what I saw too. But when I went to see the Hadron Collider this morning and yesterday too at CERN, they're saying we opened up, and they're talking about the last opening. Don't forget, they're supposed to be smashing atom particles, negative particles, for every second, like billions of collisions every second, and all that's monitored, cameras, shots of everything. Imagine everything has to be fast. All goes onto this big ass box where they conserve everything. But there was something that was brought up also, and I never found the post again, but it has to do with the alignment. So I don't know what that was about with the alignment. Starting to wonder if CERN is not the one maybe causing the alignments. We're just talking to talk here, but there's some really, really weird stuff happening. So much news in space news for the satellites too. They're talking about dangers for WAR to happen, obviously, in space and in the atmosphere of Earth, where all the satellites are. The first thing that other countries are going to target, for example, any adversarial or foreign countries that are against the West, what would happen is the inevitable is that they would shoot down the satellites. And not just shooting them down, is that now I mentioned last stream because they were talking about malware and people hacking into the programs that are controlling these satellites. Obviously, the satellite's not being remote controlled. It's done through, in a way, but it's done through programs here on Earth, and those programs can be hacked into, and malware can be dropped off inside of those lines. So they're talking a lot about that, the inevitable, the fighting with China. There's definitely going to be a fight between China and the States and Russia. Who's going to be in control of the moon? China wanting to dominate the moon. We heard Nelson, which was the NASA administrator, even mentioned that that China had the intentions of taking over the moon. I know it's a big word, but they're talking about it themselves, right? And why would the Pentagon be doing secret research on the moon? Well, I think we all probably pretty much knew that could be what they were doing. Obviously, we've been talking about it for years, but it's been so revealing in the past couple of years what they've been saying about UFOs. Honestly, even though we're all excited to find out more news about the moon, trust me, I am too. But they have been talking a lot and revealing a lot, and these things take a long time. When something gets exposed or leaked out or declassified, because you in the States, that's how it works, right? There's a Freedom Information Act, if I'm not mistaken. We have Griswold, we have the blackvault.com. Who else? Project. Oh, I'm not going to talk about them. We can't anymore. A couple of people are bringing out these documents that have been classified forever and that are now declassified. The last time I checked on the blackvault.com, guys, there was 2,900,000 government files, and now there's over 3 million government files. So they're always updating, and these things that are on the Black Vault are not things that they're announcing in the news. It's documentation that is painstakingly long because you have to read through them. It's literally like images of papers done with a typewriter out many years ago, and sometimes a long time ago. But the information that's there and what they're looking at, just one document I looked into this afternoon, last night actually. No, that one was, this afternoon. We're talking about weekly, not every week, but weekly ionized plasma propulsion. And these are, I guess, there would be experiments and tests, and in reality, secret projects that are being done maybe on the moon or here, but that are talking about different types of technology in propulsion. So that's interesting because there was a lot of talk about electrical propulsion. There was talk about the weakly ionized plasma propulsion. And these are things that when you hear something like that, it can take you many days, hours, days, weeks to do research about what some of the terms even mean, because they've always been hidden, right? But a lot of us come along these, what they revealed in these documents, a lot of us have already talked about this in theory. Beth Noyce, thank you very much. Happy Friday to you too. Thanks again, Bruce, for creating my favorite podcast. I really appreciate the feedback, Beth, because I'm not stopping the research here, but some people don't have time to watch a video. If you're on your way to work, you're preparing supper or something like that, and make it whatever, and you want to listen to the podcast, they're not too long. So I really appreciate that. And family, love you guys. Love you too, Beth. And Beth Noyce, really Noyce. Am I pronouncing it good now? I used to like saying Beth Noyes. I like that. But Beth Noyce, properly pronounced. She just recently did an interview with a big enough channel. I think the channel's, I don't know exactly how many subs, but it's a big enough channel. It's very interesting. Order of Light or something like that. But anyways, check it out on her channel. I hope that she shared the link. I shared it on a video or two ago, and I pinned the link on one of the videos. And it was a beautiful interview. I really appreciated it. And I was really proud of you for opening up. That was really, really cool. But first of all, guys, it's an amazing story. So do take the time to check that out. It was an incredible story. A few have already, Beth. I'm sure. I think Darlin, a bunch of people have taken the time to check it out and are talking about it. So that's really, really cool. We have Elias Valala is going to be doing some live streams also. And I deliberately send a lot of English people to his streams because he has to talk in English. And he thinks he doesn't speak well, but he does. He speaks very, very well. Get his brain going to do English, French, taking care of the stream and the side angles. And we're going to have some fun on his channel. Thanks again, Chris Ness. Yeah, aside from the allergies, doing not too bad. Not too bad. Are you all enjoying the strange phenomena and weather? Where it's like we're living. I mean, it's been raining all week here, guys. More rain we had this afternoon. And I want to share a little something that happened to you because I want to know if there's a little message behind it. Get ready because it sounds crazy. Okay. A little bird. Oh, should I tell people this? I'm not joking. Very heavy piece of rock that a very little bird had in its mouth and flew over my head and dropped it on the corner of the barbecue, and then it fell on the ground, went bang, and I saw the bird taking off. It was coming down. Was it because the rock was too heavy? What the hell was the bird doing with the rock? Dropped a rock. Even has rust on it. Looks like actually a piece of a building, actually. Is there a message to that? I was curious. I have a lot of stupid shit that happens to me that I don't even mention most of the time. Like 2 summers ago, almost getting a black eye from a piece of ice that hit me over my eye. Pow! Right in the face. A big ball of ice in the middle of a very, very hot day. So I get a lot of weird shit that happens to me all the time. Hey, Lawrence Taylor, thanks a lot for being here. Leah, thanks for the comments, you guys. Leah and everyone. Patty in the house. How's it going, my friend? Yes. Well, listen, nice to see you. And quite a few people here. Obviously, we go through so many things as vacations, as family events. Some bad things happen sometimes. People are taken away, work. But a lot of you are always coming back, and I'm so appreciate it. Some incredible, Patty, some incredible information that's coming out that has been declassified. You all can look up information and documents yourself on theblackvault.com because there's a lot of information there. He uses the Freedom of Information Act to declassify certain documents, and these documents range from President Kennedy to the Congress to everything related to the states, many secret projects, both way back in the 1900s all the way to a few recent ones now that more and more is being declassified. I guess there's a certain amount of time that they have to wait before declassifying, and they probably let 30 to 50 years go by before even bringing it out. And often when they bring this information out, well, imagine how far ahead they already are. If they're talking to us about designing propulsion from between 2007 and 2010, around that date. Imagine what they're doing now, 10, 15 years down the road, a bit further down. They don't hide that they do secret projects because, excuse me, they don't hide that they do secret projects because they talk about them. They talk about secret satellites that are sent up, and not just the United States. They have other countries that send up satellites. And actually, just very recently, a year or two ago, there's a lot of spy satellites, secret, project, experimental satellites. They're talking about also the microwave satellites that are, if not already there, soon to be there. Another test they're going to be doing. Microwave satellites are not big, probably about the size of a microwave. More and more, the satellites are going to be hard to see. So what the governments have to do is, and this is without a doubt, have to absolutely downsize the satellites or change altogether the ideal completely of the satellites, because the sun can shoot them down, anyone else can, and not aside from shooting them down, they can be taken out of commission or whatever through these hackable programs. So it's not something that's very dependable when you think of it. And if the grid was ever to go down, well, those satellites will not be used. And then, it's a scary scenario, and you can see it's something that would happen fast, maybe not necessarily ongoing problems or deaths, but the GPS that would be cut off, the signal, the planes wouldn't know, everything, the speeds, the ones on autopilot. I can just imagine, this is all satellite control, right? GPS, military, locations, boats, jets. You want to scramble a jet to New York, it's a bit harder without any gauges or knowing where the hell you are, or information about people talking to you, and just driving around, not knowing, no communication with one another. You see something, what are you going to do? And it's scary because we're seeing them redesign literally the whole system, right? But the monetary, they're talking about redesigning that. Not too fond about the problem in Europe that they're saying the heat's going to be missing. I saw in Shanghai, guys, this is recent. The lights are being turned off in China for to save on electricity, because obviously the water levels are very, very low. Even just recently, I showed on the member side here a video of a new sort of Buddhist temple that appeared out of the center of the Yangtze River in China. And that's something very recent in August. And we all know, we talk about it all the time, right? When the oceans start going down, right? You want to see parts of Atlantis, whether it be on the moon or here. I always say it because there's a story that apparently there's two of them. Or anyways, scriptures say on the moon. David Wilcock says on the moon. But there's still a lot of ancient civilizations that were here that maybe that we don't know about. Obviously, there are in the waters at lower levels. And the Yangtze River is not, we're not talking about hundreds of thousands of feet, and it's already down. So think of that one. I mean, that's incredible that these things are coming out. So it's 600 years old. So that means, look at it the way you want. How many times has the water gone up and down in 600 years? I would assume it's shown, it's hidden. It's shown, it's hidden. So 600 years ago, when it was covered up, it was maybe covered up for how long? For 600 years? It could be, but it's interesting. Jay Bird, how's it going? Thanks for being here, everyone. The Stats is in the house. Thank you very much. How's it going, Julie and Floyd? Day 3 of 21. The mail from the USA to Canada takes 3 weeks. Yes, it's like you live in the Saudi Arabia. It's like you're in Australia and I'm in Antarctica. It's like two extreme ends of the world, which makes me laugh. And it takes that long. The suspense is gonna bug you. Oh, she likes teasing too. What's in it this time? Hit the thumb, please. Love you. Thanks for the thumbs, guys. Well, the last time Julie was so awesome, because that's my new hat when I go out now. It's a beautiful hat, the Space Force hat, seriously. And when I go when I walk around, the neighbors will say, hey, look at this guy, spaceman, black shirt. This my prediction was that Julie was going to send me the S from the Space Force, the black S that was on the front sign of the Space Force. But instead, I got a white S, which was the Space Force sign. I thought that was funny. No one else will, but hey, it was funny as hell. It was funny as hell. My life revolves around patterns. There's always patterns and stuff. You know, some of you often tell me, Bruce, I keep seeing these same numbers, certain numbers all my life. I happens to me too, whether it be Mandela effect or not. Thank you so much for creating that suspense, Julie. I'll be guessing all week, actually. I'll be looking back in your videos to see what towns you were in to try to locate all the places you were. I'm kidding. Inspired Wilderness Mentoring. Thank you very much for being here. Hey, thanks a lot, you guys. Appreciate it, man. I love you for it. And thanks to all that do take the time to come to the channel. Those just arriving, Patty, or if you've been here for a couple of days away, I found some new changes on the surface. Now, maybe someone will think that it's not construction. Well, that's okay. It could be something else. It could be something that's growing, but it's many, many kilometers long, which is not normal. Newly built structures on the outskirts, east side of Mare Serenitatis. So we're talking in a straight line exactly from where Bereshit would have crashed. So Bereshit crashes, and then something's built. And I would say, couple, maybe not 4, but 300 kilometers. And I'm basing my size and distance on Bessel crater. That's what I do. When you ask me how far, how long is that? How big is that? With my telescope, I know what 9 kilometers looks like. It's only a circle. It looks like a triangle. Only a circle, right? It's very, very small. So when you see something this long on the moon, well, then it's 30, 20 to 30 kilometers long. It's a lot longer. So Dazzy Bling, thank you very much. Bruce, since the rock has rust, if a magnet sticks to the rock, it could be a small meteorite. Yeah, but me too. I'm, I think of these things too. It was a bit crazy because the bird had it though, Dazzy Bling. A bird. I hope to heck that it doesn't stick to a magnet. Do I have a magnet? I think I did. Well, I know I do, but do I have it here or is it somewhere else? Yeah. No, I don't have the magnet here, but I'll check it out later. But anyways, totally weird. It's a hell of a big rock. Guys, I've never seen a bird drop it, okay? You can't say it was stuck on a bird. There's weight to it. It's heavy, like really, really heavy. Like, in other words, if I was a human, it'd be like I'd have 10 back sacks. I have a hard time believing the bird had that in its mouth. It flew over the balcony, dropped it, boing, off the thing, and went off in a straight line. Anyways, Bruce, that's crazy stuff. Apollo 20 was supposed to land in July. Thanks again, Inspired Wilderness Mentoring. Apollo 20 was supposed to land in the place of Neil and Buzz, but you all know between administrations, there's changes. And me, I only learned this when I started really doing my research, and it really bothered me. Mr. Stein, Berenstein, I call him, the one that was there before, the director, one in charge at NASA, was exploring the idea and talking with the astronauts for the Artemis program that it would be nice to go back to one of the same landing areas that they had already gone on one of the moon landings. So whether it be Apollo 17, or whether it be, and now those just arriving, hearing me talk, I'm repeating what people say all the time. Of course, you and I, we each have our own opinion on whether they went or not. Me, I've always remained neutral, but in general, it doesn't look like they really would have gone. Buzz Aldrin admitted that they did not, and that the public didn't see what happened on the moon. So that could mean that they went and that they hit it. I'm open-minded enough. I can't prove it that they didn't go. That would be something ridiculous to even think of me being able to prove it. But if we listen to some of the things that they're saying, there's lots of research you have to do. Gabber Beast the other day mentioned it, and this I knew about it, but I'd never seen any proof. And he was talking about them being, the Mason's apron on during the landing and doing a bunch of things in another set of images. Obviously, I believe that 100,000%. And some of these groups, when they go up there, whatever their intentions are of going up there, I don't know, but it's fascinating to me that there's already structures up there. And, You know what? I'm just being honest. When I showed the Apollo 17 structures, the 3 lines, go look on the video Apollo 17, 2, 3 videos back, guys, if you haven't seen it. I show the Apollo 17 landing site close enough that you can see the 3 lines. If I'm not mistaken, there's even 5, but we can see 3 very well. They're connected to what looks like a brilliant light source, which they're probably called craters. And that's proof in itself that there's construction in that area, even though I still don't really, I have a hard time believing that they went. Why? I also saw videos showing the Apollo 11 fake landing, they said. And I'm sorry, I saw helicopters that in the background, it was the setting of the freaking landing. We talk about mock setups. If you ever heard of a mock up is a setup that every vehicle that NASA has ever built or created is either in a museum or in a studio somewhere. I like saying studio. And it's a mock up setup of a life size exact replica of whatever, including the one they sent to the moon. And on the setup, well, yeah, that square. So listen, if in theory you're in a studio, and I said this many years ago, you're in the studio, it's just very logical. The studios have high ceilings, if at all, and you turn off the lights in the studio, it becomes, with just lights on the surface. I mean, in theory, it's easy enough to replicate a real moon landing without me trying to put it down or not. I have so many people that came here, said that their fathers worked on those missions, lots. And, I don't want anybody to be insulted. I'm not saying they were liars. It's that even if they were working for something all day and night and believing that it was for a real moon landing, they would not have known if it was or not. So they didn't do anything bad, but still lots of stories now, seeing the wires right on the astronaut that falls up and comes back up. You see wires. It's in a video. We've seen it. Some of you, I'm sure you've also seen it too. Those are proofs in itself. Neil Armstrong was so interested in going to, is it in Brazil? He was with the government there and military, looking at the Golden Library, which are books written in gold of an alien language, definitely alien. When we say alien, unknown to human, and unknown to human on a long scale with all comparison of all other cultures and any ancient scriptures from scrolls to everything, not not even comparable. What are his interests in that? He was the first to punch someone. Was it him or Buzz? One of the two punched someone in the nose for having said that. I think it was Buzz, for having said that they never went to the moon. Why is he so passionate? Are they so passionate about saying there were no aliens? And we all know exactly in the transcripts and what they said. We can even hear some of the audio now that they say they're on the sides of the craters. They're huge, and they're looking at us. The mention of huge was mentioned 2 or 3 times. They're very large ships. So that right off the bat there, someone that's open-minded enough can say, well, you got your answer right there. So the answer comes out often, and it's not everybody that picks that up. So, hey, thanks, Dazzy Bling. A small rock, yeah, it is heavy as hell. It's so heavy that I was starting to wonder if it wasn't an old. Oh my God. Oh my, that can't be. Okay. I just got the chills. I don't even want to. Holy shit. Guys, I don't care if you call me crazy. I posted I posted the tombstone, thanks Desi Bling, of Elsie Seller. I went and cleaned her grave, and on top of her grave, there was a stone. And there was a stone all on some other graves. And it's obviously, I came to the understanding that people were going to drop stones. Listen, I'm not saying it's anything spiritual, guys, but that for me, these are messages. Ooh, that's crazy. That is nuts. I was looking at stones. Christy, I think I said it just to Christy the other day. No, maybe I didn't. Maybe I'm losing it about the stones on the grave. I'm going to go back and take a picture of some of the stone. Well, then he'll say Bruce put the stones there. But anyways, it's just a nice little message, whether it be that or not, because me and my family, when there's a death, it's a bird that always brings me a message. Like the hawks the last time before the pandemic, I often talk about birds. So that's something just beautiful. It's like she thanks me and drops me off a freaking rock by a bird. Anyways, maybe not, but it's crazy shit like that. That's nuts. Well, let me get some coffee. That's worth coffee. That is nuts. I'm getting scared now. No, it's not the rock that was on her tombstone, but it's a rock. For me, rock is guys, rock. I mean, I have them all over the place. There's rocks everywhere. I got every type of mineral and rock because I collect rocks. And I tried to look that up, LC Seller, and I went there and I saw there was a rock on it. So it's a family member that goes and drops off a rock. I've seen it in cemeteries. It's a symbol of affection. You know, you leave I don't know exactly what the meaning is, but that is crazy. And it's thanks to Dazzy Bling. I know, guys, I probably ruined the stream talking about that. It's maybe a little silly. I bet you guaranteed I actually regret bringing it up. But now I'm blown away. And the birds are chirping outside. Are they going to come in the house and get me now? Wow. Jaybird. Hello. I have a connection with all birds. So that's incredible. So I went to the cemetery 2 days ago. Was it yesterday? 2 days ago. And just brushed off all this dust and everything that was on this poor lady's tombstone. It's a nice tombstone. It's an old tombstone, really, really, really small. It's about 2.5 feet high. And there was a rock on it. And I said, that's a family member that dropped the rock off. There was another one that had, there were 3 kids buried and there were 3 rocks on the top of the thing. It's maybe a message. Maybe the family says you move the rock if you're there. You know, we are a spiritual race, eh? That's just cool. Stupid story, maybe for some, but I'm keeping that rock. That's crazy. I hope it's not from a tomb. Yeah. Thanks again, man. Hey, Burn, Brenda, Logan. Well, I bet you many people just signed out. Hope my mother's not watching. She's probably going to call me after. Hi, Bruce. How you feeling? No. I know it sounds nuts. Hey, how's it going, Brenda? Robert Colford, thanks for coming back, man. Thank you so much, bro. Another guitar player. Burn, another guitar player. Aliaos, another guitar player. If Barb was here, I'd say another guitar player. Brenda, thanks a lot for thanks Canada. You guys rock. Always a pleasure to see people from Canada here. That's for sure. So a little message from a bird that came and dropped me a stone. Thanks for coming by to clean my grave, maybe. That's just a nice thought. Even the thought's nice. Even if it's not true, I'm going to keep that thought. Wasabi and blessings. Hey, wasabi and blessings to you, my friend. Thanks back-ass words, weird world. We are in a weird world, aren't we? Kamasabo, Sharon Yen Luko, thanks you guys for the awesome support. Alpha Kush is in the house. Good day to you too, guys. Thanks so much. I love you guys for coming by. I really appreciate it. Thanks to the house. The stats in the house. Thanks for everything, you guys. Dam's in the house. Happy Friday, Julie. We have BPS Gaming in the house. Howdy, everyone. I hope everyone is well. Thanks so much. Always some good new people coming in here. That's a cool thing, though. Can't say we get a lot of trolls here in the community here on this side. That's for sure, and that's awesome. Be prepared, mods, when you bring it up. A stone dropping. I'm curious if a stone dropping a stone. No, that's crazy. A bird dropping a stone on you, is it luck? Maybe it's a sign of death. I don't know. That's a bit weird. The only reason why I thought The Rock and the relationship to Elsie is that when I do things like that, I am spiritual, and I did expect maybe to, as crazy as it sounds, to feel her in the house. And after I went to the cemetery yesterday, because of my energy problem, um, things were. I said a lot this year as compared to what I used to say. You know, people that see a lot of things are one of two things: batshit crazy, hey, or they're telling the truth. Maybe they misinterpret what they see sometimes, but I do believe in that energy. And me, to be able to communicate with someone that's deceased, it's only done through the energy. So that for me is the truth. It's not like she knocked on my door and, hey, thanks a lot for cleaning off my tomb. Next time, can you bring me a 6-pack? I'm not stupid, but it's done through the air. I believe it's done through the air. There's maybe a little connection done, maybe because I did some research up on her. I want you to say that research that I did on the tombstone, there were only on register and all the registries in the United States, there were only 3 sellers in Ohio in the 1800s or 1840 at that time. Only 3 seller families, because often you look up your own family name, it's all over the bloody world. They extend, all the names extend out. Anyways, nice little cool message today from someone. Sarah Morris, how's it going? Minute, hope you and the family doing great. Thank you so much. Yes, doing really well. I appreciate that. My son's doing well too. He's working hard. Got a couple of furlough shit, or a couple of hours docked off, and there's products missing. The product that they use to do their work, they had to go get some in India, and then India, the product wasn't the same, and now they were losing some customers. So that's what all this crap caused, is causing everyone. Darla Lama in the house. A rock falling from the sky. I'm still blown away, guys. Just because my thought of the rock when I was at the cemetery is the flash that I got. Thanks a lot, Dios. I've seen so many different pattern of chemtrails, and they usually spray in the early morning when they do. Yes, I'm in Ottawa. So yeah, thanks, Ottawa. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate that. Yes, there's a new type of cloud now they're talking about, which very rarely forms. Is it? Oh, I'm not going to get it. There we go. Sort of rhymes like actually Artemis, but it's Aratos or something like that. I don't know. A certain type of cloud that looks like an upside down ocean. In other words, the ocean, the way the waves all move as it's moving along in the current, the sky does that, and they don't know why that occurs. But so now they're studying new clouds, right, to be able to understand or try to predict. You watch in 2 or 3 months, they're going to be able to predict all the volcanoes and everything. But again, will it be real? It'll be like, science is always evolving. I believe in science, but not in the science. I'll say like Bondigo said the other day, and it's not the same. Science is always evolving. They're always finding. Whoop, telephone. 1 minute, please. Sorry, guys. Call from Anonymous calling me. Hello. Okay. So all those chemtrails, studying from the different phenomena and everything, it's crazy. See, we talk about the energy, eh? Thanks, Julie. Leah in the house. Let me scroll down here. So I'm just going to start Comment ça va, Joël Saint-Jean? Thanks again, Beth Noyce in the house. Mixed Ma'am, how's it going, brother? Yes, at last I found the stream. It just does not notify. Sorry about that. A lot of you don't get the notifications that are not. I mean, not everybody has to be click the bell, but for those that do, you'd think it would work, and that pisses me off because a lot of people that click the bell, it's like it doesn't work. Me, as a matter of fact, I think it has to do a lot with it because I, excuse me, guys, not enough chemtrails. I have problems with the notifications myself on my own channel. I can't click the notifications. It always says 99 plus. And when I click on it, it doesn't open up. It's a gray box and I don't have access to it. So, unfortunately. Love the admittance of the new moon pics. Go figure, huh, Bruce? Yeah. Yes, go figure. And thanks to Eliaus that told me about that one, that they're talking about.
Call from anonym.
I'm not going to answer.
Call from anonym.
Won't be long.
Call from anonym. Call from anonym.
There we go. Where were we? Thank you, Julie. Ask Bruce, do you use an eyepiece? Oh, thanks. Or just focus when doing your videos. P.S. Science is only science if you can discuss it. I agree with that. Thumbs up, beautiful peeps. Love you, Julie. Thank you so much. So, yes, Ruck one or Roosh one. Absolutely. I don't use an eyepiece. I only had the chance of trying it at the beginning on the first day with the telescope. What I do is where the eyepiece is, I take it out and I have an adapted extension with my camera that comes depending on what model that you have, and I'm able to film from the back of the telescope. So where you're looking at the telescope, I'm filming from the back. So my eyepiece is actually my big enough screen that I have on my D850 that I can see the moon. Very hard to see UFOs and stuff like that. I would not be able to, but when I bring it inside and I look at the footage and asides the zooming up that I do outside, plus the zooming up that I do inside, we were able to see very, very good. Nikon D850, inform yourself at how many times you can zoom in. It's incredible. You can zoom in many thousands of times. It doesn't pixelate. You can just keep bringing the image close without it pixelating. You got to pay a lot for these items, of course, but in general, I feel important. Anonymous is calling me. And it's a weird day today. Bird drops a rock. Thanks a lot, Robert. Bobana in the house. Thank you so much for being here, you guys. Same great people keep coming back. Thank you so much. Thank you, Darla. He'll be streaming there. We're going to have some fun there. Hey, the unknown. What's the good word? The unknown. Imagine when the unknown becomes something that doesn't exist. Oh, I'm not talking about your channel, eh? I'm talking about the secrets. When they start talking about the secrets, that's when things are going to get like super interesting. 112. I always try to catch up, and I'm not able to catch up. Weirdest part, CERN is the Shiva god, yes, of destruction. Exactly. A statue just above the underground facility. They also have record so many oddities, yep, in the sky above CERN after their experiments. Very scary. I got myself one. I got it as a gift, actually, a long time ago. A nice big brass one. And every time I look at it, I think of having nothing to do with any lack of respect to Buddhists, but it's the idea of CERN, what that statue represents. Yes, exactly. Not a lot of people know that it represents in reality, it represents, and death and a new beginning. But there's two ways to look at it, right? For sure. Miss Ellen J.A., how's it going? Have you seen all the UFOs? that have been spotted night after night in the US. No, but I know I'm starting to hear about it. A lot of people are seeing them. I have people here in Ireland and the UK, and Peter now starting to see a lot. And Peter at the beginning, Benton, he said, listen, for months he was saying, I'd like to see one. He wasn't pretending that they were in the sky. He didn't see any, and he wanted truth to be able to show the light. When he showed his first light, or one of the first lights that he himself got, well, he took a hell of a long time to explain exactly what he saw, how he felt, and all that, because he really wanted to get one. But it's happening more and more with some people that years ago weren't seeing any of these lights, that now are seeing the lights. Phone's going to ring. Hey, Dan Rayo, how's it going, my friend? Thanks, Dan. Trump knew what was going on, yes, when he started Space Force. You're absolutely right about that. And there's also, it's proof too, it's factual. He also wanted to bring out that UFO report a lot sooner and wanted to talk about something, but he was, in a way, coerced into not speaking out about it. And when Biden got there, well, nothing happened about that. Lavish vacations they're having taken every week. Kamala Harris takes a lavish vacation. She's been on vacation, I think it's 166 times or something like that. Every weekend she takes a vacation. Who's Kamala Harris, anyways? Willie Trumpold in the house. How's it going, Willie? Hello, Bruce. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much. Big Willie in Vermont, USA. Another beautiful place. Not too far from here. Thank you so much. Vermont's in the house. That's awesome. Thanks, MEM. There's the other guitar player, Barb Weast. Hey, the unknown. I appreciate that, man. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. I'll try to keep it interesting. Funny shenanigans. Hello to you, my friend. USA in the house. Thank you very much. Oh yeah, Willie. They were announcing some here. No, it's not true. They're not announcing any. Actually, we got some rain this morning, but no thunder showers. Yesterday there was a bit of rumbling. Ian McDonald, thank you very much. I appreciate that, Ian. Welcome, bro. Thanks for listening in too. Hey, thanks, Bern. Allergies. No, I haven't heard about that. Heard about a bunch of things that happened around the CERN facility. Yeah, right after their experiments. Yep. Though, yet again, I guess it's going to be shut down, and I have no proof of it. I can't even tell you where to go to look at the article because it was brought up. It was brought up. Apparently, it did happen, and one of my sources told me something's up. 4 week shutdown. Apparently, an accident in point 4. Whatever that means, because there's different extensions of CERN, and they also have some new extensions that they put up, some new machines, right? So you got to wonder what's going on. So apparently, I'm going to have to look this up. There's not supposed to be another planet alignment. And you know what? As a matter of fact, the last 3 planet alignments should never have happened, because I saw scientists say that we're not going to see another one until I think it's 2070 or 2040. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to look that up again, but they're bouncing around. Megabaz, giggity. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Good vibes. Thanks. Appreciate that. Yeah, that's how it is. Hey, 3 weeks. Imagine that. It's like we're side by side. I could probably see you with my telescope. I mean, it's not like you're that far. You guys can check out Julie's channel too. When you get to Julie's channel, it's because you've gotten to the end of the road. You'll see why. Scanner DK72, thanks so much for being here. I had the experience, of seeing what the UFO orbs look like in close proximity. That's amazing. And I had the chance twice in my life, once a physical encounter face to face inside of my own home, but the one that came down from the sky that was red like blood, and then I'm pausing because I'm trying to think. I don't know what to call it, right? Like you say orb, it's maybe different. It was more like a craft that was changing shapes inside. But that's what the Pentagon said. There's so many different types of characteristics that it's near impossible to put them all in the same boat. There's so many different characteristics. You know, it's insulting, when somebody calls you anonymously. You gotta wonder why they do that. It's the Pentagon. Probably not. Thank you, Beth Noyce. It was on Robert Earl White. The Order of Light is the name of the podcast. I didn't put it in my channel, so that's perfect. People can see it. And like I said, check it out. Beth was very hush hush about that, even coming out with it. And it's, it's not something she probably didn't want to brag about it, but it's a beautiful thing for having talked about it. Maybe a lot of people can relate to some of that experience. So it was just something incredible. They do, my friend. Pretty bad. Annette in the house. How's it going? Coffee's good. Yes. Hope it heals the allergies. Jane's Doe, thanks a lot. Happy Friday to you too. Oh, guys, give me a second. I don't know what's going on here. So maybe less walks to the cemetery. Less walks to the cemetery. No comment. Ian, thanks again. They're destroying our harvest in Europe. Thanks, Ian, for sharing that with their weather weapons. It's horrible. It's horrible, and it's pretty obvious now what they're doing, right? It really is obvious. I'm sick of the suppression of fact checkers, everything that they're suppressing. That's another thing that's really horrible. So I'm going to scroll all the way down because I never get to the bottom. I always wait too long. Thanks again, everyone, for the generous support. Gate Smashers in the house. Bogcat Y, greetings from BC, British Columbia, Canada. Thank you very much. We have Bogcat Y, Bob Katie, probably. I like trying to make up different words. Sorry. Another guitar player. There we go. 712 watching the stream. That's awesome. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate that. I'm going to get right into it. Not too long. I've arrived to say I gotta go. While driving, listening to the show. Thanks, guys. Drive safe, and thanks for listening. Keep the bacon frying, Bruce. Yes, we're making the governments rich with that bloody bacon. Expose them and show them the truth. Thank you so much. Love you, Floyd. Thanks for listening in, you guys. I would keep the rock too. That is pretty amazing, regardless. Listen, it is there, and it's the scariest sound. When I went outside, you know what I said? I went, "Hey." I thought somebody threw a rock, and here, as I'm looking outside, I saw that rock fall, and I saw the bird go down after that. Everything was like deliberate for me. Anyways, weirdest situation. Then I said, did the bird drop the rock? Or did someone throw me a friggin' rock from next door or something? What the hell's going on? Going to court with a neighbor in a couple weeks. An incident 3 years ago. Imagine. That's how it is. Jermaine Brooks, how's it going? Jermaine from Fort Wayne, Indiana. What's up, man? Thanks a lot. Thanks for stopping by. Hey, the unknown, also guitar player, actually plays some, yes, Pearl Jam right now in acoustic. You're talking about, that's my group, Pearl Jam, way back. The best. Those, ever notice how the groups in the past were so awesome and they're still around? You ever notice how the more people evolve and make music that it's sucking? I'm sorry. I'm thinking only some of the old hits now I listen to. Some of the new music is just, it's just beats and everything. It's not real guitar playing. Laurie Wolf, how's it going? Hey, North Carolina in the house. Just heard of your channel from someone while watching Uh, Mart, is it Mart? Marv, sorry. Have a great day. I really appreciate that, Lori. Thanks for listening in. We're going to talk about some incredible information. I'm going there right now. The stones on headstone, the Jewish tradition, shalom. There. I like hearing that. Maybe it is. That could very well be so. I'm just like, it was automatic when you go into a cemetery and you see people leave $1. Some people, there's lots. I mean, there's money right there. I see it all the time, and people leave. God, would you dare steal $1 from a dead person? Oh my gosh, have some bad luck on you. I went there. It was foggy and raining, and I love spooky settings. One of my favorite painters and artists is Ken Curry. I don't think anybody appreciates that artist, but for me, when I started doing weird images and images with photography that I was trying to depict, it's a nice dark art. I love it. I love scary movies, thus I love scary images, right? But Ken Curry, if you want to look up his art, his goal is to make the person feel uneasy when they're looking at an image, So for whatever the reason we like doing so, it's an art. I'm tapping and muddling. Oh, yes. Awesome. Thanks for listening in. Lisa Eckerly, thanks, Annette. Did you see what kind of bird there was? Yeah, like, here we go again. The regular ones, like the ones that are tiny everywhere you see in the trees that I don't even know what names they have in Canada. Small birds. They're beige, dark, very regular, no color on them whatsoever. But in one of them, there was that one, like the one, remember the bird I buried? Okay, that I buried. Well, yeah, I got rid of it, but the bird that had died, that fell in the pool, that was in the front, I felt so bad. I tried to almost trying to resuscitate it. I felt bad. He just born, the poor bird, and here he goes and stumbles in my freaking pool and drowns. Oh well. But again, it's always the stories around the bird. So I have a robin that makes a nest every 2 years on my front porch light, and I don't put the light on for the time it's there. It's really a fast thing, They arrive, they start building the nest with, first they need the spot of mud that they put on the bottom to hold the twigs as they're going in. It was just like construction. I was like, what the hell? Watching from my window. That was so interesting. And building, it makes a mess for 2 or 3 days, and then you sweep it up, and then there's no more mess. Then about 6 to 12 days after, you hear birds. 24 hours after, you start hearing them fall on the balcony. But anyways, I get a lot of messages with the birds and stuff, and that was just incredible having a rock fall on my neck. Interesting. Rich One, how's it going? Rich Williams from Astor, Florida. Thank you so much. 32102 here. Thank you. Hey, Bruce, when you get your pictures and videos of the moon, do you use an eyepiece? Okay, that was the one. Thanks, Julie, for sharing that conversation. Hey, Rich, I just saw you, buddy. How's it going, man? No, so I absolutely don't use any eyepiece and pictures and videos. Do you use an eyepiece with your D850, or do you just prime focus? Yeah, exactly. Prime focus, nothing else. Exactly. Prime focus is what I'm doing. And when I have the camera at the back, I transfer the button because I have no lens, right? So it's hooked up right to the back of the camera with the extension. And then I press on the button to transfer the front of the telescope and the image that comes through the back. And I start filming it. Rich says he's working on his setup, might need a little help. Anything you need to know, Rich? Absolutely, man. You ask me anything you need to know. Be more than happy to write on any comment of any video, anything you need to know, man. It was really, listen, when I hooked up, those, at the beginning, they say align with the moon, because if you have a GPS, you're going to want to align. Okay. I mean, you're going to laugh at me. I don't use a GPS. You know why? Because I know where the moon is. I know where Betelgeuse is. I know in Orion. I know where, the the Horseshoe Nebulae and all these things that I could, if I wanted to, know where they are, find them. But before trying any program or setting up, it's just a suggestion. Do it manually. When you turn on the telescope, if you don't want to do any setup whatsoever, you can directly point, right? Not the sun, obviously, with the eyepiece, never do. You go blind. You look at send plasma through your head. If you look at the moon through the eyepiece, you can set up with that, because at the beginning you have to, it's like doing the bearing so that you're set up. If your telescope is in an observatory, if it's not going to be moving, you can collimate it and everything and have it set up so that your GPS will know exactly. You have functions, go to the moon, go to whatever you want to go to. It was simple. I did it quite simply by pointing and putting the camera at the back. As for the focus with the telescope, it's super, super easy. I focus on the moon and on the smallest crater. I try to get the smallest crater I can see in focus. Thus, all the other craters will be in focus. Because if you focus in on a big crater, it could be that the little craters are not quite in focus. The moon's odd. When you're shifting across the moon, it tends to change. The focus has a certain area on the moon where it's like it fades out, it goes bad, and then it comes back. So I can't help but thinking there's atmosphere up there a lot. Aaron, thanks for being here. Aaron, I don't know. It's a woman called Elsie Seller. She was born at the end of the 1700s, at the beginning of the 1800s. That woman lived through the War of 1812, quite simply, and she died in 1892 or 93, 1892, I believe. And on the registry, I mean, there's nothing about her. There's only 3 Seller family members in Ohio in the 1800s, throughout the whole of U.S. And they were in Ohio. So often when you're looking back like that, it was just something really incredible. She's in the oldest part of the cemetery. And I posted in the community if you want to see what the tomb looks like. I have a fascination for the different years when people were buried. The crosses were different. The signs were different. The meanings of, you'd hear things that they'd say that are hard to understand sometimes, certain meanings. We were very different just 100 years ago. It's incredible to see. So I hear, and when that big bunch of birds come by, so I look out in the back and I hear bling, hit the barbecue, see the rock literally hit the barbecue. A rock. Hey, yeah, this is crazy. But could it be a message from the cemetery? Why? Because in the cemetery, I saw some rocks that were on top of the tombstone, so I just thought it was odd. It's a little creepy that it's that heavy, the rock. Yeah, interesting. Smelling a rock now. Bruce is losing it. Yeah, exactly. I looked it up, and I think her husband's to the left of her, and there's it's a big enough war memorial sort of thing. So, and not just that, the year that she was buried in 1892 was absolutely incredible to see a tombstone like that. When in reality, most of the tombstones in that day were, you'd even see as much as just a wooden cross with a name on it. We have a lot of them here. A lot of them, just a wooden cross with a name. Ed, how's it going? We have Josh in the house. WT Smart, hello. I'm just seeing some people. Moon, Mars, Moon Deception. Hello, Prince George, British Columbia. Thanks so much, you guys. I really noticed how clouds seem different now than they were in the past. Really, it's incredible. And the new phenomena, new types of clouds that are happening now, it's just, crazy. A little drink, Annette. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, you said it, Annette. No matter what, I'll be thinner than all of you the day that happens. They're preparing to take new gas cars off the road. I think it's 2035. So for sure, I don't even think we'll make it to there, but they're talking about it now. Almost confirmed thing to take the gas. Now, in reality, if we weren't run by crazy leftists, we would be able to. Um, that would be a good thing, not using gas cars anymore. But resorting to electric cars when the cars are far more expensive than regular cars, and not just that, you got to buy the place to for the energy to put the energy inside of your car. Electrical car explosion the other day, by the way. It was a Jaguar. Just the day before I went down, I was going to mention it. But the guy charged his car fully up in his garage or wherever his thing is, his charger is, went out for a short drive, and the car burnt to a crisp, completely melted. We're not ahead of technology yet. Look at the airplanes. The Wright brothers were crashing, and behind that, they're already opening an airport to start hiring people to send them up to other countries. So, I mean, that's what they did. Did you hear about the leaked file? Says Ed, showing the blueprint and construction of a climate enforcement police by the Canadian government in Alberta. I did see that, and that's another thing that is like extremely worrying. They're going to be, don't forget the carbon taxes that everyone is talking about to be charging people depending on what carbon that you're using, and you're going to be taxed on it, you know, instead of just planting trees. Would have been a lot easier just planting bloody trees. Science and tech, that's what they structure our system under, but no one understands science and technology. Absolutely. Only the few make the rules. Carl Sagan, something. Yes. If that's what he said, well, he's absolutely right. It's true when you think of it. Yes, adios. Trying to scroll down and it won't let me. Stargazer. We try to capture the Artemis moon rocket. I promise you guys, even though they're going to be landing, we got the information. Hey guys, they're going to be landing on the South Pole, unfortunately. One of 13 destinations that they're going to choose, I guess, between the people that are going to be going. If I'm not mistaken, we'll be sending a first black person to the moon about time. But you know what the sad part is? Why don't you just send anyone who deserves going to the moon? Should have done it a long time ago, right? But the mistakes that our ancestors did, white or not, we all know it's totally stupid and bogus being racist like that. Today, it shouldn't be in the air. You know, if the next 10, 20, 30 years, it's only black astronauts that go to the moon, if they're qualified, good. Be happy that a man went to the moon. Stop labeling their colors. We're all the same. If we start labeling the inside colors, well, then it's all the same. One person with red blood was caught yesterday. That's what they should be saying instead of one black guy or one white guy or one Chechen, one Bosnian immigrant, one, they're going through all these terms. And that's the media when they use those terms. It's what make people fight. Now they were aiming, we're not going to hide it there. They were aiming for white people there in the media, CNN and all these idiots, MSNBC, there's like an accident, but they don't talk about it unless there's white at one point. Why? Because they were trying to show that the whites were bad, were very bad. They were worse than black people and stuff like that. We were at one point. I think every white person knows that. But back in the days, everyone were savages. The further you go back, the more savage like we were, right? Go back to Robert the Bruce. Go back to all these, whatever, King James, all these kings and everything did some screwed up stuff. Back they were savages back in the day. But today there should be no racism. And someone that goes all out to get up and say the N-word in public like that, I as a white person, I'd knock the shit out of him. I'm sorry, but it's true. I'm not just making that up because you don't hear that here. But unfortunately, in the States and stuff, it's very different places. And sometimes racism focuses on these certain regions and states, and it's just worse, and it sucks. There's racism all around the world in reality. That's for sure. Bruce, always watch your channel, but this is my first time live. I know, and I really appreciate that, man. I love the channel. It's great. I'm from Sudbury, Ontario. Hey, thanks a lot, man. Sudbury, Ontario. That's awesome. I really appreciate that. And thanks for listening in. If you haven't seen the videos, oh, you have, but it's the live streams you haven't tuned in. Well, I try to keep them interesting, and of course, I didn't get into what the Pentagon did yet, but I will. I promise. Just it's so interesting that there's so many people stopping by. I went to the French channel and joined in. Loved it. I thank you, Lisa. Well, that's how it is. I have an English channel, a French channel, and I have a Spanish channel approaching 1,000 subscribers, by the way. Here we hit 93,000 yesterday. Thank you. We're back down to 92.9. So I'll thank you a couple of times as the subs often go up and down. Zinnis Men in Black. Yes, don't give my address, please. Yes, exactly. Very, very, very important. UFO hunters in the house. Blacksmith 1965. How's it going? Thanks for being here. It's Pelosi that took her son to Taiwan. Yes. Yep. Took her son to Taiwan. You know, it was the safest time to do so since she had only been threatened to have her plane shot down. After that, China did some military exercises for the next couple of days as they were going both over Taiwan and around Taiwan. And then at one point, Taiwan mentioned, should we defend ourselves and not let them go over us? And then it's like everything stopped. And then, it's intimidation that China is doing, unfortunately. It's sad, but that's how it is, Hey, thanks a lot. Gabriel Arcari, thank you so much. Sending some love from Sweden. Hey, Sweden, thanks a lot, you guys. Thanks for watching. I appreciate that. Much love. Thanks for the generous contributions, my friends. Zenith est là. Bonjour, bonjour. Ouais, c'est comme ça. On n'a plus le droit de parler, hein, Zenith? Faut faire attention quand on parle des fois. Why are Canadians always so jovial? Because we're hiding something. They're not. Should I say this because we're hypocrite? No, I'm not going to go that far, but I've yet to meet some jovial Canadians. Maybe the neighbors around here are not jovial because I'm here. I don't know. I don't know. I find there's certain areas. Well, when I did move to this town here out in the boonies, when I got to the first stop sign in the town before where I was getting in fights with people on at stop signs every day. Crazy people. You get to the stop, you're stopped. The other car is approaching the stop. You go to take off, he takes off before you. It's so stupid. People are so asleep. But when I started getting in fights with people, in fights, you know what I mean? Started getting mad that people were cutting me off in that town. But in this town, when you go to a stop sign and you tell them to go by, they go, no, you go by. No, you were there first. You go by. Go ahead. I ain't going. You go by. So now I'm fighting with them. No, I'm not fighting with them. They're very gallant here. They're kind, polite, and they let people go by more. No problems with the tractors and the farms here. The tractors know you get 6-7 cars that go behind them. Cars very patient, and the tractor, the minute there's an entrance, goes right into the entrance. But we have to get along with them because on the small farm roads here, when I was driving with the medical bus, there was no two ways about it. We had to wait patiently in the back. I'm not going to start honking, get out the freaking road with patients in the bus. Hey, how's it going, Max? Australia in the house. Thank you very much. On the other side of the world. Thank you so much. Farcour Leon trousers. Farcour Leon trousers. Lion trousers. Thank you for being here. Jerry's in the house. Red orbs are weapons. Yeah, Zed unlike green, which are portals. Scary stuff, eh? It's funny when you see a meteor, it's green that we do see, right? And so let's hear them. Oh, yeah, yes, Alpha Kush. Exactly. Hi, Bruce, I'm calling for your... You never know what it could have been. Very funny. So, as for the Pentagon... So yeah, this is one day ago. Hold on here. How come everything's gone? Hold on. Weird day. Moon battle. There we go. So the information, this would have been declassified, if I'm not mistaken, in April. So May, June, July, August, probably about 4 months ago. It's something I had never known about or heard, that I found myself while I was pondering through some of the documentation and files that are on the blackvault.com. What I'm going to read to you right now, and don't worry, I'll keep it short because it doesn't have to be long to be interesting. It's very interesting. This, what I'm reading to you, was published on April 26th, 2022 at 8 p.m. And it's information, of course, from the Black Vault, but now appearing on other websites here and there. Plethora of downright bizarre scientific research, I'll tell you that. So the Department of Defense previously kept under wraps has been uncovered, revealing an array of peculiar schemes proposed by the United States military. One outlandish proposal suggested detonating nukes, which is a nuclear bomb, nukes on the moon to create a tunnel through it. Millions in taxpayer dollars were spent on the research. So that means Americans were, in a way, not in a way, they were secretly funding this without them knowing it, which appears to have relied on a contractor. So keep this name in mind: Bigelow Aerospace Advanced Studies. When you hear studies at the end, don't wonder what they're doing. It's secret projects, I believe, which was owned by multimillionaire Robert Bigelow, a hotel impresario. Okay, I guess some kind of yeah. The public was kept in the dark until now regarding what research was being funded. The documents pertaining to the research were obtained by one, a Vice reporter, through the Freedom of Information Act, like I told you before, not the Vice, but from that act. The request filed was 4 years ago. So what we're seeing now that was declassified in April, guys, was actually asked to be declassified through the Freedom of Information Act 4 years ago. And it took all that time to declassify it. And of course, when they declassify these documents, well, often you're reading through them and you see all these black lines where they're taking out anything that they don't want anyone to see. So the moon nuking proposal, okay, and other bizarre research documents originated in the unclassified yet highly secretive Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program. So we're talking about ATIP, right? That was founded in 2007, remember? A division with DOD, Department of Defense. When the New York Times uncovered the program in 2017, ATIP became synonymous with UFOs, which were the alleged subject of investigations following the video leak of unidentified aircraft. So with Luis Elizondo and everything that they showed in the videos showing the Tic Tacs or whatnot, that was revealed. For whatever the reason it was revealed, of identified aircraft sightings from, as they say here, former director Luis Elizondo. After his resignation from the DOD, Department of Defense, by then the program had already ceased to exist, right? So when he started talking about the projects that were being done, well, it was done a while back. So that's why I say, imagine how much they've progressed now as compared to what they were doing in 2007. We're in 2022, okay? And it just so happens in 2025 that they say they want to go to the moon with the Artemis program. To do what? Is it really to mine helium-3? Really? Honestly? There's a whole bunch of projects that they're doing that's really interesting. They have to come up with moon cement. Literally going to have to come up with a way to make foundations there. The first build will be the launch site so that they can receive the rockets, right? how are they going to receive the rockets before they build a launch site? Anyways, that's a lot of questions that come up and ponder around that when when you're wondering. So his resignation from Luis Elizondo. By then, the program already ceased to exist, but the question remains: why would an organization supposedly concerned with UFOs and future aerospace technologies contemplate detonating nuke weapons on the moon? You have to really wonder why they want to do that. The confusing answer, so they say, has to do with specious science. I don't even know what that is, my friend, centered around anti-gravity. So apparently they were going there to do, or wanted to go there to do anti-gravity testing and experimentation through the funding of the American people, and suggests that the government has hoodwinked by a contractor who wanted to justify their ongoing government contract by producing facile research documents that on the surface appear to propose feasible futuristic technological possibilities, yet which actually lack a rigorous understanding of fundamental physics. Sorry, 1,600 pages of reports, guys, proposals, and contracts and meeting notes detail the feasibility of a wide range of technologies seemingly garnered from science fiction. Many, okay, so aside from that, it was much more than that. Inside the documentation, they're talking about weakly ionized plasma propulsion and different electrical propulsions. They admit now that they're able to get the moon image with the color because now they're using several frequencies and wavelengths. They weren't able to do it at the beginning, but now they can, to be able to show the true colors. And people already are wondering online, why the hell is the moon so green? China also may overtake the United States in space. And this is a warning that came out of, again, you have to do your research in the latest Pentagon report. That's why like 1,000 pages opened up. August 26, 2022, based on a report issued Wednesday, United States may be overshadowed by China unless it unifies around a shared vision for space, as it did during the battle to the moon years ago, the Cold War. Well, what we saw in the past, aside from everything that happened during the Cold War that we didn't know about, but there's talk about China wanting to overtake the moon, meaning wanting to have dibs and wanting to be the number one on the moon to decide what's going on. So where's that war going to happen? When a problem with land on Earth happens, they fight in space. But now, where are they going to fight when there's a problem in space? They're going to be shooting each other down or whatnot. So everything's done through frequencies nowadays. There's not supposed to be any more ground wars. As a matter of fact, Vladimir Putin said that there was no ground wars ever again that we would see. This was only a few months before he started one. And the reason why he said that is because everything will be done through frequencies and everything will be done in space. So we hear them talk themselves and they're not even doing what they're supposed to be saying themselves. Oh, it's too bad, eh? Hold on, I'm looking for that same. Okay. U.S. government proposed nuking the moon. Funded research program. There we go. I think it's this one. Sorry. Must be this one. Yes. And now here's one on April 20th, 2022. So this came out, guys, this is in Live Science. If you want to look it up, it's livescience.com. And it came out. This was not published recently, but yes, it was April 20th, just not this week, 2022. The agency was funding secret research. U.S. government's now defunctional Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, ATIP, spent millions of taxpayer dollars to research bizarre experimental technologies such as invisibility cloaks, anti-gravity devices, traversable wormholes, and a proposal to tunnel through the moon with nukes explosives, according to dozens of documents obtained by, yet again, Vice.com. If you've never heard of Vice News, look them up. They also have a lot of reports. They bring you inside of North Korea and they do a lot of very, very controversial settings that they go and do some reporting. That brings some more amazing information out. The documents, which include nearly 1,600 pages, as I said before, contracts, meeting notes, reveal some of the stranger priorities of ATIP, the secretive Department of Defense program that ran from 2007 to 2012. So now back up and try to remember some of the incidents and some of the things that came out between 2007 and 2012. Only became known to the public in 2017. So that's like a year after I started researching. Imagine when the programs, well, I was there right in time, wasn't I? To start looking at the moon. When the program's former director resigned from the Pentagon. That's another thing, eh? You have resignations, you have change in directions. So when those things happen, it sort of takes away the accountability of that person as they seek asylum somewhere else and they sort of disappear, like we see Anthony Fauci doing right now, you know. New documents suggest ATIP was up to more than just investigating reported UFO encounters. The entire cache of 51 documents obtained by Vice via, again, a Freedom of Information Act request filed 4 years ago can be read here. And that's what I clicked on. And when I clicked on that, there's so much going on there. It's totally crazy. Perhaps most intriguing among the documents, I'll tell you one thing. There are several dozen defense intelligence reference documents, okay, DIRDs, they call them, which discuss the viability of various advanced technologies. So there are some advanced technology documents that have never been seen before that were declassified only in April. But again, you have to look for them. And the batch of the dump that I was in with all the files that were there, I mean, you have to read for hours and hours, but you don't read for too long that you fall upon some of this information. This collection includes reports on traversable wormholes, stargates, and negative energy. So if we relate to what negative energy is doing at the CERN, and they're studying negative energy. I mean, that's when they reopened, is the first thing that they said is that finally back to looking for dark matter. And that's dark energy, what they're talking about. But a lot of advanced technology. So the collection includes, as I said, traversable wormholes, stargates, negative energy, high frequency gravitational wave communications. So we see what people perceive or call as a lunar wave, which I tend to think that it's not, wasn't from the moon, but it can be if it had to do with a defense way of protecting the surface from asteroids, from incoming anything. When you think of it, like a force field in science fiction, but no longer science fiction. That's where it gets scary. High frequency gravitational wave communications, warp drive, dark energy. Again, we said with negative energy and dark energy, two things, and the manipulation of extra dimensions. Many other topics that will sound familiar to fans of science fiction. But that, what we perceive as science fiction, what we were told mostly as science fiction and only seen in movies, is being studied. So now they're studying this related to the moon. Where are they doing the studies? Where are they doing the testing? Are they testing in the moon's atmosphere? I've filmed what looks like objects flying by in the surface. No, they are objects flying by in the moon's atmosphere that have smoke, leaving smoke trails. Some of them have dare I say, a weakly ionized plasma propulsion at the back. It's the first time I hear that term, but that's what you see, though, that ball of light behind these objects in the atmosphere of the moon are that's just wondering, from 2007 to 2012, did they actually send somebody up there on the moon? When I started seeing these objects, especially 216, 217, there was so many UFOs up there, 2017, 2018, 2019. And in some of the objects that I captured, where we see there's like one looks like it's literally dropping something, a projectile or something on fire. It is on fire as it's going downwards. We see a reaction from the surface where other smaller lights or projectiles come up and go straight up towards the object that was flying by. And then the object, I don't know what happens to it, but there's a massive explosion. And I filmed it a couple times too. So there has to be, maybe there was some fighting going on, even though we're not talking about war. It was something that was really intriguing and interesting to me to actually get some footage of that, to get, even though we don't know what it is, that's real footage. So that's crazy. Many of the reports stress the impracticalities of implementing advanced technologies, for sure. For example, the authors whose names have been redacted, doesn't it suck, right? Perfect cloaking devices are possible because they require materials where the speed of light approaches infinity. However, okay, cloaking devices that make objects invisible to microwave-based sensors, such as radars and motion detectors, are definitely within reach of the present technology, the report authors wrote. So, I posted in the community the other day a video about a technology on a certain cloak. I believe that the way that they're hiding the buildings, this is one hell of a theory. They talk about on the buildings. I just heard recently, if David Wilcock was talking about, and Corey Good and all that. Me, guys, I listen, I learn, but I remain skeptical too after hearing everyone's whole story. But he talks about a see-through aluminum alloy building. Let me tell you that I could corroborate very easily with that, because myself in 216 and 217, do you remember the squares that were elevated on the moon that we can see the craters through them? It's all forms and shapes that are everywhere. I started wondering if it was not radio telescopes, right? Or satellites, like literally on the surface. And you could see through some of those objects. So I believe that the way they're hiding those structures is with the bending of light. And if they bend light, hear me out. This is serious. If they bend light around the structures that are on the moon with bioluminescence, because in nature, that's how it naturally forms for certain animals. Some animals don't have shadows. And the reason why they don't have shadows is because from inside themselves, the bioluminescent light projects a light just enough to hide any shadow around them as a safety mechanism in nature. Well, what if we apply those safety mechanisms in nature and make biological living building? Everyone's fascinated about biological living robots, and what about the buildings having safety mechanisms that react like animals in nature, but that it's something that the ideal is back engineered. So hear me out. If they say there's aluminum alloy buildings on the moon, wouldn't it explain why we're seeing through shapes and everything? And a lot of people say it looks like we're looking through glass, because the aluminum alloy, if there's a light at the basin, oh, well, hold on, there is lights at the basin of every crater has a bright rim. Why? And a bright center. That could be to hide all shadows of any structures on the moon, to be able to live there in hiding, facing Earth without anyone realizing it, even if you're smart in science, because don't forget, they had to update the science. They had to lie about the science to be able to hide what's up on the moon. The excuses of the Pentagon coming out saying that now the moon is not gray and we can really see it and we're finding a way to be able to show it is because they obviously did this way at the beginning of the 1900s, like a long time ago, before the Pentagon even existed. That's, pretty sure. There's negative mass propulsion that was mentioned in some of these documents. There's lots to read up about, guys. A proposed plan to look for extremely lightweight metals in the center of the moon that may be 100,000 times lighter than steel, but still have the strength of steel. To reach the center of the moon, the authors suggest blasting a tunnel through the lunar crust and mantle using thermonuclear explosives. Of course, the US has not nuked the moon, and actually, okay, have not nuked the moon, they say, and shows they actually did. They warned everyone they were going to, anyways, okay. So plan to return humans to the moon for the first time since the Apollo era, with the ultimate goal of establishing a sustainable human presence there. Rattling the moon with the nuclear explosions would likely prove contrary to this mission. You think? Hey, let's tell the public we want to go there and build bases. All right, so when do we start nuking that bitch? Like, it doesn't make any sense. They start nuking the moon and they say that they want to go live there. And doesn't make any sense. Private company called Bigelow Aerospace Advanced Space Studies, right? BASE, BAASS, BASE, the company run by Robert Bigelow, personal friend of late Senator Harry Reid, who cares, who was responsible for the creation of ATIP. Oh, okay. Was awarded a $10 million contract for the first year of research for the program, Vice reported. So that's pretty interesting about some of these. I'm going to be doing a lot of which I don't usually do because I'm surprised that this information is coming out. This was May 17th, 2022. Pentagon officials testify at first public UFO hearing in more than 50 years. So just to note that it was May 17th, 2022, that around the time where they came out to talk about, the UFO report. Peter, thanks so much, man. Real food for thought, Bruce. Yes, thanks a lot. So, experimenting about anti-gravity and propulsion. Also, I thought at one point, hey, Tony D, that it was hypersonic missiles that we were seeing, because that's the new thing. That's the new technology and research that they're trying to do to be faster. The ideal is to be stealth, to be hidden, and that everything is done in a way where it can't be seen, and at the same time, obviously, to develop weapons where they won't be able to detect where the weapons are coming from. Some of these objects, like China, that has something still yet secretive going around the world. Does that make any sense to you? That literally China has like some type of something in space going over US, Canada all the time, continually at a fast pace, KM's in the house. Hey, it's Colton here. Colton Lewis. Have you seen Bruce Has a Music Channel? Thank you so much, Julie. Thanks, Colton, for being here. I saw him past couple of weeks. Have been commenting too. I really appreciate it, guys. Hawaii KH, Top Chat 785. Hey, I can't thank you all. Hey, I can't thank you all enough for being here. That's amazing. Honestly, I'm only 29, but I love 70s, 80s. Colton, I was just like you at 29 years old, 55 years ago. No, not that long ago, but it feels like it. Same here, 70s, 80s, and a little bit of 90s. Same here, bands, but 70s and 80s rock is my favorite. It is definitely my favorite. For me, I add the 60s, 70s, and 80s in that, and a few, jazz and blues from 50s and even 1930s. Some of them were pretty good, those damn songs, way back in the day, the blues and everything. And a lot of people don't know, except for most musicians or people that like music know it, but some of your favorite musicians are not the ones that wrote their own songs. Most of them have not. From Eric Clapton all the way to all of them, Elton John. It's not all of them that write their songs. Eric Clapton, there's lots that it wasn't him that wrote. So these people are hired, right? It's the leftists. To be a popular musician, you can't be a popular musician unless you're with them, unless you're part of that clique or cult or whatever. Sad to say, but I believe that. Michael E. Burns, thank you very much for being here. Appreciate that. Keith Point in the house. Jeez, am I ever late, guys? I'm sorry. I love small town cemeteries. You can feel the history. You really can. You really can feel the history. And it's funny, the old tombstones are placed differently. And the one that I showed is actually caught between two big tombstones just sitting there. But it's pretty impressive when you think of it. It's someone from the 1700s. So I can't help but look around me. And I do this every time. You look around exactly where that tombstone is. And then you try to understand where they came in with horses to bring the, or a car. But no, it's, yes, 1893. But in the beginning of her life, there were no cars and everything was like horse and buggy, no electricity. It's like, wow, whoa, what they go through to see that. Try to imagine the terrain around it, what it would look like, just a bunch of farms, I guess, and hills and trees, and incredible that we can see things that old. And I know it's not that old for some of you that like researching. It's not old at all, but it still is pretty old. When we have a hard time having our car remain in our parking for a year without getting scratches on it for going for a few places, it's hard to believe that sometimes some of those tombstones are still there. A lot of Masonic tombstones in that graveyard. A lot of them. You can see the Masonic sign. Because again, it was a religion. Masonic religion was a religion to better yourself. It wasn't anything bad. It's that, the king did, and the Rothschilds, and they sort of changed it during the Gothic periods and whipped up their own. Apparently it's from, it depends on how far back you want to look. You can look back into Bavaria with the Illuminati, but I want to get some good camera equipment to get some captures. My grandma's land has a lot going on in the skyscrapers. That's awesome. Above it, my phone camera, yes, don't do it justice. Exactly. And that's the advantage when you have a beautiful dark area, or an area where you're high enough where you can see all that's amazing. Hi, Yvonne. Great epiphany. God bless to you too. Thanks a lot, you guys, for coming in here. And thanks for connecting. If you're just new here, Kyle, how's it going? Hey, Robert. Sorry, guys. I don't do it on purpose to miss you all. How can you lose something you never had? Hey, big man. That's right. That makes sense. How's it going, brother? Thanks, Robert. Gate Smasher. We are having a war and aliens are here to watch the humans. It's 100%. That's what I believe. Battle play out. Yes, good versus evil. Yes, and they're just waiting for, think of it. They're coming here. They're going to tell the elites, we can do this the easy way, or we can do this the hard way. That's what I believe that they are at. Looking at the United States and what's going on in the United States, I think we can say that there's some positivity coming out in what's going on. Hey, Pelosi's husband, Paul, only got a few days in the slammer, I think. 5 days or something like that, or I don't know. That was pathetic. So, for killing a sign, an offense. Yes, Rich has been here a while, a contributing member of the channel. Thanks a lot, Rich. Really appreciate it, brother. Dargis Gooner, aliens mining on the moon, and I believe they are 100%. There's Tammy. I would take that rock as a sign for sure. Yeah, thanks, Tammy. That's what I wanted to hear, guys. It also honestly touched me. You know why? Because I look for signs like that. So maybe it's a coincidence. I don't know, but it's super odd. And there's always odd things that happen to me like that, guys. Incredibly odd things. Amazing, beautiful, fascinating things, though. Alpha Kush, thanks again for being here, my brother. Yes. Yeah, it's getting pretty bad. The sun is getting pretty bad, my friend. Keith, it was smoky here the past 3 days. Major fog when I went for that walk in the cemetery, too. It was really damn foggy. Donnie Foster, how's it going? Are telescopes from Amazon any good? Do you know? I'm going to be careful with what I say, I don't have enough information to know if they're not. I have a problem with Amazon themselves, that devices catching on fire, but I don't know or if there's any danger. I don't know enough about Amazon. Probably not. Probably not. Depending on when you look up the model that you're buying there, if you look up elsewhere what the price is and stuff, should be okay. I shipped my $10,000 telescope, 10,000 US dollars, almost a lot more Canadian, 13,000. I shipped it from Celestron in California, okay, on a truck coming down this way. I mean, think of it. I didn't go and get it over there and come back carefully. Had to cross all of the states and to get here, and I wasn't able to have it delivered to my home. I had to go through a store, obviously, because I guess Celestron doesn't like customers. Weird. Right and left wings of the same bird. Birdie bishky bird. First you base the birdie, then you base the bird. Left and right are the two cheeks of the same ass. Oliver Klein in the house. They once changed from electric to gasoline for war machinery hundreds of years ago. Yep. That was a mistake they did when they changed Oliver Klein. Sparkling Dragon in the house. Why our mate sucks. Yes. Yeah. Yep. Type of vibe. That's exactly what vibe there is. Thanks, my friend. Scroll down. Come on. Why is it waiting for me? Why isn't it going down? Gabriel, thanks again, brother. Et Chaos Miss Arrow, bienvenue. Kokomo Joe, Michael Gullett, thank you very much, you guys. I saw this ship that was all black, no flat edges. Cool. No sound, about 40 feet, big oval shape. What is it? It could be human UFOs, or it can really be out of this world UFOs. I'm really starting to wonder, like, does an alien come into Earth's atmosphere during the day, or are they the ones hiding? Are the ones hiding in barley and wheat fields, are they the ones that are humans and they're deliberately hiding from humans, or do the aliens care or not? You have to wonder. I talk about the moon, and he says he doesn't like being here because it's too cold. It's a lot warmer on the moon, he says. So gotta wonder. But still, he doesn't wear pants here. My alien without the pants. Kokomo Joe, there's something already here. I believe that 100%. And polluting the meager water supply, exactly, of the indigenous peoples. That very sad, man. Very true. And what do we do when the batteries finally die? More toxic waste. So sad. It's where you see that the ones that are in charge don't care about us. You could tell there, because right off the bat, if the government was built on people, real people that want to get in there to make things better for all the people around them, they're not. They're a part of this unique secret group where they sit around tables all day long and at Bilderberg meetings each year or every so many years to find out how they can manipulate people on Earth, how they can make money with us. For when you start thinking that making money on a pandemic and stuff like that, it starts getting really sick, I find. YouTube apparently broke down on a lot of the fact checking for COVID, but I'm not going to mention any of the things that they broke down on, but it's a good sign, because don't forget, it's an evolution. The science is always changing and evolving around that. So now that the truth is coming out, they're slowly in hiding taking down some of the fact checking that they have to do. But am I going to take a chance? No. My Bill Gates video got taken down and I got a week in jail. They told me it was going to be 2 weeks on top of it. That's crazy. Hey, Cindy Krause, how's it going? Hey, get lucky now and then to catch live show. So glad to be here. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Bruce, you think full disclosure? Hey, Dark Shadow, hello to you. Thanks a lot. Oklahoma in the house. I appreciate that. Beth Noyes, you own Skinwalker Ranch too, Bigelow. Yeah. Yeah. So do you see that all this secretive stuff, Skinwalker Ranch, that's something almost demonic there. We're talking about opening dark holes, portals, right? That's crazy. Crazy stuff. My grandfather's clock rings when I say dark portals. Love you, Grandpa. Bruce, do you think full disclosure would come if the United States has actually reversed or been given some kind of new tech? The big triangular craft we have, I'm certain from my observations, have it. That's a great question. Bruce, do you think full disclosure would come if the United States has actually reversed or been given some kind of new tech? Well, here, that's a good question. But here's the thing. There's some people that want to... Savigno, bonsoir de Lyon. Merci beaucoup, mon ami. People... United States and actually has reversed. It's a hard question. I don't even know what to answer to that, actually. I don't know what would happen with the new technology. Look at between 2007 and 2012, they're experimenting with new technology. So they obviously have some type of new technology. Why try to hide it from us so much if they weren't doing anything sinister with that technology? That's what fascinates me. If they weren't doing anything wrong, why would they hide that technology? There's always the same excuse. Fatty McButterpants in the house. I love his name too, Darla. And I'm sorry I missed him. There's something about that, the technology of that. And look back at the Philadelphia project when they said that they were able in the harbor, and this is still something that's controversially supposedly didn't happen. I'm not going to hide it. I know a lot of people say it did. The boat ventured here and there, including when they tried to make the ship a cloaking device and make it an invisibility cloak and make it disappear from radar. It actually disappeared and would have teleported into a harbor somewhere, New York, Boston, I don't know where it was teleported, and then teleported back. And of course, when it teleported back, some of the soldiers or Navy crew that was there, whatever, were sutured, were fusioned to the boat. Some of them lost their minds. And then, I'm not going to hide it, there's an interview online that interviews the people that declared having been on the missions in that boat during a certain year, and they say that they know nothing about those projects. So I'm not going to hide it, but of course, that's how they've been hiding everything, right? Blue beam, paperclip, everything that happens and that comes out later on, I'll say to you, Stargazer, it's leaked from the inside. So that's my answer to you. If ever it's brought out, the information, it's because someone believes on the inside that has access to seeing some of this information, believes that there's a danger and that it will probably be leaked out. The CIA were the first to leak out the projects, and well, exactly paperclip, I believe, MK Ultra programming, mind controlling. They were the first to bring it out on the inside because the people, CIA members on the inside, were worried about those programs. And that was leaked out. So imagine if there was no CIA member that wanted to leak those programs out, it wouldn't have been leaked out. And of course, Douglas, anyways, I'm not going to get into the names, the doctors that were there doing experimentation on humans in Frankton, right here in Frankton, Quebec, and in Montreal, the Allen Memorial Hospital. Can you imagine all the test subjects that they did human experimentation on? I mean, my parents can be a part of that. Okay, we're from my own dad's from Montreal, so who knows what happened back in the day? You guys know that my mother had a 1 hour time loss, or maybe even longer, loss of time when she was pregnant with me on her way to somewhere and back, and she doesn't know how she got or came back from there. So she always laughs about that one, says, who knows what they did to you if ever I was abducted? And then I freaked out. I said, oh, jeez. You never know. Love you, Julie. Thank you so much. Yes, guys. Thanks so much, Julie. Those just arriving, I do live stream every Friday, and soon to live stream also on Wednesdays, I hope, with more interesting subjects and topics. Every Friday at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern time and 8 o'clock p.m. I'm streaming, so you can come and say hello. We can talk about the research, the newly found buildings or construction that I found on the moon. I mean, nobody's talking about it except for us. It's crazy when you think of it. Join us tonight, 8 p.m. We will be here for more, absolutely. And enjoy viewing his videos. You're going to be in awe. I love you, Julie. Floyd, thank you so much, you guys. What'd you send? Oh, I'm curious. Try to read her mind. Whoop, I'm thinking of a road now. I'm thinking of a sign. Now I'm thinking of naked women, but that has nothing to do with what Julie's trying to send in my mind. I can't thank you all enough for taking the time to sunlight. David, how's it going, brother? Negative energy is not dark matter. Oh my God, sad now. What, bro? What's sad is you, my man. Two different things, buddy. Two different things. That I don't know who it is. Gonna get rid of him. Oh, he's already gone. Thank you so much. Why even take a chance with this blundering idiot? I'm gonna block him too. Sorry, guys, for the idiots around. Sorry, I tried to clean up much as I can. Oh, the trolls, not the trolls, but the mods were quicker than me. So thank you so much. Hey, my haunted life. Better late than never, my friend. I'm late catching up with the comments as always. That's what people come by here, eh? Try to see mistakes in what people say, what I say, because Bruce is not a chemist. No, I'm not. I'm not a physics teacher either. You know, I study in ufology. I study, and I'll go head to head with any ufologist now. I'm not trying to say that. And I study in astronomy, like a lot of you do. Research to find out exactly what the hell we're looking at out there. When you see what I saw, you'll shit yourself. Oh, I don't know. It could park in your backyard and you wouldn't even know it. First reaction was fear. Yeah, okay, I would shit my pants probably. The light that was over my garage was something was poking, let's just say. I was close. I was close. Merci, Zenith. Thanks, Zenith. Grip Ripper's in the house. That's right, Grip Ripper. I agree 100% with that. Fatty McButterpants is here. Bruce says, "Oh, geez, you're lucky you have been eliminated for, you have not been eliminated for filming of their secret stuff, or you are their disclosure and you are the chosen one." Hey, thanks. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm surprised I wasn't dead too. That's why I was really mad that I didn't get up to 100, 200, or 300,000 subscribers to sort of protect my ass a little bit, because what I showed is literally probably a part of what they're doing up there. But since I'm like, imagine if I was working for science or a science agency or association, I would never have been able to start a YouTube channel and talk about my findings. That's for sure. Thanks so much for stopping by, everyone. We have another stream tonight, as we talked about a whole bunch of stuff, and everything to do is to create chaos. That's right. And division. Absolutely 100% what they're trying to do. Just turn on the news and you get a fear, shrill, loud person trying to make the fear happen. Got to counter it. You're absolutely right about that. And it's all bullcrap, what they're saying in general. A lot of certain media. And have you been noticing that people over these past 2 years that have you ever heard a media, more than one media station repeat the exact transcript? Up to 18, 20 media institutions that we hear say the exact word for word message. It's because they're all paid shills. They're all proclaiming and protesting for the government. The government is using the media. I believe, just my belief, I believe the government is using the media for a tool. You all know it, obviously. Don't even have to mention that. Everybody knows that, you know. Hey, the Tic Tac thing, while deer hunting about 2 years ago, he said it had some kind of vapor coming of it. Oh, wow. As it hovered across the fuel, he was scared to breathe in the vapor. Hey, that's scary as shit. Well, and don't forget that vapor stargazer 4652, 46N2, sorry. That could also be the heat that was coming from the craft on the afterburners there and slowing down the craft and coming into the atmosphere. You'd see this incredible wavy heat, but maybe not. Some of the UFOs you can't see smoke or heat around them, which is absolutely incredible. But again, we hear the Pentagon talking about electrical propulsion, about weakly ionized plasma propulsion. That's pretty really interesting. It's not everything from science fiction, guys. Warp drive, Scotty, full speed ahead. Warp drive. Aye, aye. Sulu, warp drive. Warp speed. We're hearing things that they talked about in science fiction movies, you know, that they said, look at space before I get off here. In space, space isn't dark. Space isn't cold either. In the movies, when you see them come off with a mask and that they freeze and their face explodes just by touching them because they freeze up right away, do your own research. I'm telling you, it's not true. And they are talking about it. They're admitting it, but you have to look up the research. But again, when I say look up the research, I don't mean go to NASA channel. Look up universities, look up, whether it be Harvard, Yale, wherever the heck you want to look. Scientists are talking in certain forums and they're bringing up a lot of stuff up, to be able to talk about. So whether it was interesting or not, for some of you, what I said about the Pentagon talking about all these testing and wanting to nuke the moon and to test anti-gravity, yes, we were lucky as hell to be able to have my research still up. But like you just said, somebody just said, Fatty McButterpants, I think, yeah, maybe they wanted to see how people would react to that. So I know a lot of people are paid shills for sure to try to get my channel not seen and shadow banned by a lot of people. And the subs are deliberately regulated where they go up 100, go down 100, go up 100, go down 100. It's been 6 years, 7th year starting my 7th year of research. So the last videos, some newly found constructed objects, the sun's activity on the 24th and the 25th, if you want to take a look at it. I explain, I hope you like that, the flybys that are going by the sun. When you slow it down, you actually see 7 or 8 frames of that one flash your eye sees. So sometimes your eyes do for real see an optical illusion. Just on Elsie Seller's tombstone that I posted the other day, you're going to say it's stupid, but when I look at the symbol on top, it's a Maltese cross. But sometimes I look at it and I don't see it at all. The eye tricks you. So I believe that that's a type of camouflage that's unknown, that nobody's ever spoken about, except in theory, most likely, but I've never heard anyone talk about it. If your eye sees the crater, some of you are going to understand what I mean. Some of you look at the craters when I show them and you say, hey, Bruce, it's weird. When you showed Copernicus crater, it didn't look like there was it was indented. It actually looked like it was a plateau. And this is something that occurs through an optical illusion, I'm assuming, unless unless the crater is actually changing depths or whatnot. I don't know. Hey guys, what do you think before I get off of the theory of the moon being having all those craters not being craters but sinkholes that come from methane coming out and leaving the surface of the moon just before a big sun event or something like that? And you have to wonder, because the craters don't look like it was meteors that hit them, because there's no cone-shaped craters. Meteors come in sideways, okay? They don't come from straight up and down. So why are all the craters have the holes? It could be nukes. What do you think of that? Maybe they found out that back in the days, they're going to not want me to say this, maybe back in the days they nuked the moon, and that the craters, the reason why there's no cone-shaped craters and all these bright rims and all these mountainous areas, and they all look the same depth, is because either the atmosphere is creating an image of the same depth, or it's something else. It's what I said, that they actually nuked the moon. Peter just disappeared. I was going to click on say thank you. Hold on. Thanks again, man. And there's another one after that. I know that. Scrolling down here to the end. Ryan Holloway, thank you. Tom Burns, how's it going, brother? You're a buyer? Where's Peter? I'm scrolling down for Peter here. Omer, how's it going? Instructor on the Moon, yes, sir. 90s had the best grunge. Oh, yes. Annette, I like the grunge too. What's the time? 2:44. Okay, let me scroll down here. Everything's jamming. Sprad Paranormal here. I didn't get a chance to say hello to. Hey, Sprad. So sorry, brother. Thanks for being here. You should see the different things going on around my place. Some people have a lot of activity. Some people lucky or unlucky, depending on how you want to view that. Since I went to the cemetery the other day, guys, I have a lot of activity at home, noises all night, actually. And it intrigues me, and I keep doing the same thing, and I deliberately do it. And I don't know why. It fascinates me that there's a connection sometimes. Where the heck was Peter? Thanks for the generous contribution, man. What's the time? 2:51, and I'm still scrolling down to the bottom. Maybe because I got a lot of people here. That's not normal. 2:57. Thank you, Julie. Appreciate that. Yeah, guys, we're streaming tonight also at 8 o'clock Eastern time. So that's in 5 hours. I'll be streaming here. And what I'm going to do is for the next stream, I do like I always do. Jesse, hello. The truth is that there is a hollow moon, a very appreciated theory. And for sure, a lot of people talk about that. Thank you so much, Julie, for sharing that, for the generous contributions, all of you, and enjoy viewing his videos. You're going to be in awe. I really appreciate that, my friends. Still looking for Peter Benton. Hey, Cuba, what do you think about the James Webb telescope? Like, they can't scan the surface of the closer planets and can see very far away and think they're lying to us. I agree with you, Cuba, that they are lying to us. Cuba, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. They are lying. I think they're lying to us. Croatia, greetings from Croatia. Thank you so much, Croatia. Hey, I have at least 10 to 15 people that come here from Croatia, man, and support the channel or stop by during the streams. Thanks so much, you guys. Peter, if I missed any generous contributions, you got to forgive me, my man. I'm sure I did. Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. Hey, thank you so much, Julie. If you all want to become a member and help the channel, it's a very good way of helping the channel. And still the jealous people have arrived. But I like that. It shows that I'm doing something right. Ryan Holloway, are you going to be do some more sun? Yes. I never stopped doing the sun videos. Like, I would do it every day. And you know what? Since April and May, I've not seen the sun with any spots on it. It became so quiet, even though the resonance and everything, the Schumann resonance and the magnetic ratio is off the charts on the sun, including today and right now. It's almost like it's compressing something to blast itself out in an explosion. I'm very worried because Betelgeuse, for those that didn't know, in 2019, Betelgeuse exploded but wasn't destroyed. The whole top of Betelgeuse and the part of the chromosphere, which means chromosphere means the surface. Okay, the sun has a chromosphere. They say it's the what looks where we see the sunspots. Apparently, those sunspots are hundreds of thousands of feet deep, about 135,000 feet deep. One of them was at one point when they showed it. And the sun leading up to 2025 is going to get a lot worse. That's for sure. Pinky, bonjour, merci. Merci la gang. Gary Lapointe Sr., thanks for being here, bro. Watch a new clip of the moon, and yes, there's life on the moon, aliens or men there, and be. Oh yes, man. There's definitely a living being on the moon. It's you have to wonder, is it the Pentagon? Like literally what the Pentagon's there right now? And you'd say no, because China would have declared that, right? China wants to get dibs on the moon, right? If China wants to get dibs on the moon, they're going to expose the Pentagon. They're going to expose everyone that would be on the moon that's American, unless they're in something together. Maybe they're part of something bigger that they can't mention. The Galactic Federation came down here to give many rules and laws and orders not to talk about certain things. We have Haim Eshed, the retired defense minister in Israel, talks about Jerusalem, Israel, talks about hybrids that are working for American astronauts that are not human, that are living inside of Mars. Look up this week, information came out about Mars. They found out doing X-ray images also that there is water on Mars. They found like a dry lake bed or something like that where, what did they call it? Not sure what they called it. Well, they traced a line where they believe water was there. They're trying to find out how long ago the water was there. We're seeing so much new information coming out. I want to thank everyone for the amazing contributions. And if you're here, it's because you're really contributing to the channel. I'm going to get off, have a little bite to eat. And in 4 hours and 45 minutes, I will be back on. I'm going to look at the space news, updates on Starlink, on the Artemis launch. There's a launch on the 29th to go drop off some cargo there. I don't know if they're going to set it back. There's a lot of other missions, that are being set back to 2023. Like I mentioned, I believe that the Artemis program is going to be set back to 2026, maybe even 2027. We'll see what happens. So I hope to see you all at 8 o'clock. And again, I'm sorry for any comments that I missed. Would have loved to have been able to answer all the 1,000 comments, or maybe even more than that. Hopefully when I finish this and I go see the views, we will have gotten at least 1,700 views, but it takes a long time for you guys to see the views on the streams, because in analytics, well, they check and they count the numbers to be sure they're legitimate views. So it takes a little time. Christian Bat, it all makes mistakes. We all make mistakes, brother. Yep. That's how we learn to be better people. Absolutely right. We have to learn from our mistakes and face our mistakes and admit to our mistakes. Will we ever find out, Jesse? I wonder. Maybe we will find out. It's deep. That's for sure. There's life down there, I believe. Mods, everybody, Mikey B. You know what, Jesse? That's a heck of a good question, too, because there's a lot. We'll talk about that next stream. There's lots of tunnels underground. And we know this recently, a couple of months ago. Was it Afghanistan or somewhere around there? And the other side, they have a whole bunch of tunnels. It crosses through the entire Earth. There's tunnels that were designed, and there's even an area where apparently there's glass tubes in this tunnel, like an alien tech that nobody even knows what the heck it is. So I believe in Hollow Earth. I read a few Hardy Boys stories, right? Sure, why not? I believe it exists. See y'all tonight. Kokomo Joe, thanks for coming back, my friends. And again, I'm sorry for missing out on some of your comments and everything. I love you all so much. And please don't unsub because of the stupid bird message. But I'm telling you, I get messages like that. If any of you have loved ones that passed away, and the only thing you'd ever want is a message like that, it's not scary, but you get messages like that where they can communicate with you. And I think it's beautiful about this rock, because I wrote a post just a week ago saying that when I die, I want to be, my tombstone, I want it to be rocks, a rock pile, with a flag on top, because all that energy from those rocks will permit me to go and come as I please. So for me, rocks have a lot of energy, and some people are able to understand or distribute their own energy. And for some reason, I get little messages like that. Thank you, Chickadee. Chickadee. I'm sorry for missing your comments, my friends. I wish, yeah. On Tucker Carlson, absolutely. And show some real moon bases he has on too many disinfo people. See, that's what's happening, right? I'm holding on to the few of them, like Tucker, that's talking about real things. Do you know Dan Bendigo or Bendigo? I'm pronouncing it wrong, but you must know who I mean. One of the most newest team members at Fox, a guy that has his own show. He used to be a bodyguard too for certain important political people. He mentioned something on his own website that he should never have gotten the V and stuff, because now I hope you all know that we're at a turning point where I believe the pandemic is over. That's it. So sure, there's going to be some other shit and other things, but I think we've crossed that path, that part of the journey. Right, everyone. Ryan Holloway, everybody, thanks so much for being here. I appreciate it. Love you all. I'll see you all in less than 5 hours. Is that it? Yeah. See you later. Thanks again for the generous contributions, everyone, and the support, and the new people that came in. That's extremely awesome. Mikey B, hello too, guys. Love you, bro. Thanks a lot, you guys. Talk to you at 8. Bye-bye for now.